It is a Monday night at Minute Maid Park for the middle series of the longest homestand of the year. 4 games between some good buddies, Jose Altuve and Miguel Cabrera. The Tigers come in with an even record of 21-21. Despite losing all 3 over the weekend, the Astros come in with a Major League best record of 29-15. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Astros Baseball. I'm Todd Callis alongside Mike Stanton. Mike has those series here as Jeff Blum has a scheduled series off against the Tigers. Mike, when you look at
You're working him too hard, that's all.
We wore them down. You look at this series.
I think it was the Indians, actually.
Aren't you glad the Indians are out of town finally?
Yes, I am, because they actually beat the Astros in every aspect of the game, and I know A.J. Hinch said the same thing. Good riddance.
Yeah, it was good to see the Indians come into town, but also even better to see them leave town. When you talk about tonight's pitching matchup, intriguing. Initially, we thought it might be Dallas Keuchel versus Michael Fulmer, Cy Young versus Rookie of the Year. Instead, it's Brad Peacock. Peacock's been very impressive this year.
He has. Now, he's not going to go very deep into this game because he just simply doesn't have a pitch count built up. But he's thrown the ball exceptionally well since coming up at the end of the season last year. You can see the numbers right here. And what's impressive here is that swing and miss rate. That is very high as far as Major League pitching is concerned. You usually have hitters make a lot more contact with your pitches than we're seeing for Brad Peacock. Now, he made a little bit of adjustment in his mechanics last year. He got the glove out of the air so much, he doesn't go as high with that glove, and he's made the repeatability of his delivery much better.
We'll watch for that tonight. And on the other side, a very tough customer in Michael Fulmer.
This guy's just good. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. He was last year's Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately for the Astros and their hitters, he's actually pitching even better this year. 8 consecutive quality starts going into his 9th start tonight. We'll have to see if maybe the Astros can get him out of the game and get to the Achilles heel of this team, Bullpen.
We will watch for those storylines as tonight progresses. We'll have more as we come back to Minute Maid Park, including Julian Morales with a special guest right around the corner.
opener between the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros, and with Lance McCullers Jr., who's slated to go tomorrow against these Tigers. Best team in baseball coming into this series, but you guys are coming off getting swept by the Cleveland Indians. How are y'all feeling today, and how do you think this group will respond?
Oh, I think we're fine. We've put a lot of hard work in getting to this point, kind of understanding that it's a long season, but we want to jump out to a good start, and we did. We got beat up the last couple of days. We know that. We want to make a better impression this series. Whether you win or lose, it's a lot of that's out of your control. But you want to play a little better than we did.
A couple of injuries pop up for you guys. Brad Peacock stepping in there for Dallas Keuchel. What's the mentality of this starting staff? What do you like about these guys?
Well, I think it's next guy up in our rotation. I think all of the guys that get the ball every fifth day have the ability to go out there and throw great games and give this team the best chance to win. I think it's just a matter of being consistent, time in and time out. So we have a lot of talent here, and Brad, I expect to do a great job today. He's got really good stuff. Battled some injuries last couple years, but he's back.
Finally, you're on the mound tomorrow. As you watch tonight's game, is it just watching or do you prep too?
No, I've already done my prep. My prep's over. I got a little, well, not all the way over. I have about a 50-minute, 50-minute USB clip I have to watch tonight when I go home. But for most part, I know what I want to do. I want to stay with my plan, attack, and just go out there and give the guys the best effort.
Good luck tomorrow, and thanks for the time.
All right, guys.
It's Lance McCullers Jr. These Astros trying to start a new winning streak here at Minute Maid Park. Don't go anywhere. First pitch is coming up.
By Toyota. When we look at this matchup, we'll see that things turn around after the first 5 innings when you face the Tigers.
Yeah, let's take a look and see those numbers right here. And you see the Astros, they have a tendency to want to get into the flow of the game. They don't really come out swinging the bats. Where on the other side, it looks like the Tigers really like to try and ambush the starting pitcher before he gets into his rhythm.
And then innings 6 to 9, a big difference from the Cleveland Indians bullpen.
Todd, what this tells me more than anything else is the strengths of the bullpen. You see that -38, that is a huge number to give up in the late innings because this bullpen has really struggled.
So we'll see how we get things rolling today with Brad Ausmus sending this lineup out for Detroit. Ian Kinsler with his second leadoff home run of the year last night, his 42nd of his career, followed by Alex Avila, Miggy Cabrera, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez. Very solid middle of the lineup. Nicholas Castellanos, Tyler Collins, Mikey Matuk, and Dixon Machado round out your Tigers lineup.
It's now time for the mini countryman player profile, and that person is Brad Peacock. We look at his numbers right here in his pitch usage. and velocity. One thing we have to remember, this is as a reliever, okay? Those numbers, especially on the curve and the changeup, those are probably going to elevate a little bit as we go into a start. He's trying to face the lineup multiple times.
You know, for Peacock, this is a special night because he wasn't even sure coming out of spring training if this was a team he was going to make.
Now, he had to work his way onto this roster in spring training, threw the ball exceptionally well, and since then has really been one of the better relievers, even though he hasn't got a chance to pitch all that much for A.J.
Starts the night out with a called strike of the knees to Ian Kinsler, and we are underway on a Monday night. Astros and the Detroit Tigers for 4 games as part of a 10-game homestand, longest of the year. There's that breaking ball for a called strike. Quickly, Peacock ahead, 0-2. If there are any nerves, even though he's a veteran, that's a way to get rid of him.
There's no doubt. Go strike 1, strike 2. You got to watch out for Kinsler. He is a guy that likes to ambush and get it. See if he can drop a home run here in the first inning.
He has done that plenty of times in his career. But how about that start
Not
for
tonight.
Brad Peacock? 3-pitch strikeout.
That's called pitch efficiency. You know he doesn't have a whole lot of them, so spend as much time in the zone as you can. And this is that good hard slider. You see the sweep. Kinsler committed early on the fastball and just ran out of bat, out away from it.
For you, is that the biggest difference? Is Peacock's slider this year seems to be effective?
I think it's just the time he's spending in the zone. He's always had good stuff, but he hasn't always been able to command it and control it. And what he's done this year is he's thrown strikes.
Starts the game off as well as you can with a 3-pitch strikeout. Now facing Alex Avila. Doesn't have enough plate appearances to qualify for the league lead, but that's quite a healthy average, 380 with 5 home runs and 18 runs batted in, and he'll take a called strike. So far, Brad Peacock has found his own 4 straight times, or at least 4 strikes. He got a little chase there from Ian Kinsler on the 0-2 pitch.
Those count?
Yes, those count too. What are you expecting pitch count wise? Do you think they'll be a little limited with him tonight?
They're going to have to be. I really expect 50 to 60. I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but he hasn't gone multiple innings since early May.
And just like that, he's ahead 0-2 to the second straight batter.
Nice backdoor breaking ball right there from Brad Peacock. And again, this is what you want to do to be successful. It doesn't matter if you throw 80 or 100. If you can get ahead in the count, you got a chance of getting out any hitter.
He has started at least 1 game for the Astros every season since 2013. Started 5 last year, also appeared out of the bullpen 5 times. Year before was an injury-plagued year and only made 1 start, but 24 starts in 2014, 14 starts in 13, and now making his first start of the 2017 season. I mentioned Peacock has been out of the bullpen, making a spot start, only assuming to be 1, with Dallas Keuchel anticipating coming back Saturday. And he's now with a 2-2 count on Alex Avila.
Alex Avila, longtime Tigers catcher, wasn't with them last year and then came back this year, but he's not just catching, he's actually playing a lot of first base for this club.
Brad Ausmus, the former catcher. And there's a called 3rd strike. Avila goes down looking. Brad Peacock has started the game with back-to-back strikeouts.
We're taking a look at our strike zone presented by MD Anderson. This is a backdoor breaking ball. You see it just catch the edge of the strike zone. If he can command the corners like that, he might not be out there for a long time, but it should be pretty high quality.
Now 2 outs, bases cleared for Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera playing a couple of games over the weekend against the Texas Rangers. He'll take a slider for a called strike, 0-1. Peacock has been down in the zone and hitting his spots. There's a fastball away. It's 1-1.
Brad, so far in the first couple hitters, has had great command of the breaking ball, and this is something as a reliever you have to do. You have to come in able to throw strikes.
Fouled away, 1-2. Cabrera was bothered with a little oblique issue that kept him out of some games, but played Saturday, had 3 hits and a home run, and added another hit in last night's game, a loss to Texas, as they lost 2 out of 3 to the Rangers over the weekend. Called third strike with a fastball. Cabrera flips the bat all the way back to the on-deck circle. Peacock strikes out the side to start this one.
Brad Peacock commanding the zone, really doing everything he can do to save that pitch count. 3 strikeouts. Outstanding start.
A.J. Hinch sending this lineup out, presented by Southwest Airlines. George Springer in the leadoff spot, followed by Josh Reddick. Jose Altuve's been hot lately. Carlos Correa, Carlos Beltran. Evan Gattis behind the dish. Marwin Gonzalez with his 10th home run of the year last night. Yuli Gurriel, Alex Bregman facing Michael Fulmer.
Let's take a look at Michael Fulmer's numbers coming in. The usage and the miles per hour. You see he throws very hard. He's got a 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball. One of the things that's been so tough for American League hitters with Michael Fulmer is he actually uses all of his pitches in any count, and that makes it very difficult to find a pattern.
Coming off a fantastic rookie season as George Springer digs in with a .245 batting average. Second on the team now with those 9 home runs as Marwin Gonzalez broke the tie in the 9th inning of yesterday's game, and a 1-1 count. Just underway on a Monday night. Tigers in town for 4. Astros trying to get things turned around after a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Cleveland Indians. Second 3-game losing streak of the season for Houston. They had one in their first homestand of the year. And as A.J. Hinch said, give a lot of credit to the opposing team. They just were outplayed by a Cleveland Indians team that to that point hadn't played well, but really looked like the defending champions this weekend.
They did. They were clicking on all cylinders over the weekend. Their pitching did an outstanding job of keeping this powerful Astros lineup down.
It's never easy when you're trying to get back on track against this guy, because Michael Fulmer, amongst the best at a pretty quick stage of his career.
Well, there's a lot of bigger names in their rotation, but there's nobody throwing the ball as well as Michael Fulmer is. Yes, they have Justin Verlander, MVP, Cy Young. This the guy right now that is carrying the load in this rotation.
Pitch down low, little stumble by Fulmer. 2-2. We'll check that little landing area on the mound, and he was not entirely comfortable after landing awkwardly on that last pitch. Brad Ausmus is to the top step of the dugout. In fact, he's going to come out and take a look at Fulmer after that last delivery. That first inning, you're really trying to establish a little area for your landing foot, I would think, on that mound.
Well, starting pitchers are prima donnas. They have the mound is perfect for them.
Spoken from a guy who's old.
Be a late reliever, come in. There's holes all over the place. Oh, looks like everything was okay with Fulmer. He checked out nice by Brad Ausmus and the trainer.
Doug Tedder out there, the assistant athletic trainer, making sure Fulmer's okay. Yeah, it's a little different for a reliever. Like my partner Mike Stan, who appeared in 1,178 games. Does that sound right?
Yeah, ballpark, pretty
How
close.
many starts?
One.
One start, 1177 out of the pen. There's a check swing by Springer, and now the count runs full.
Yeah, grand total of 1 start. We're going to take a look at that pitch. Change up down. You can see it seems to have clipped the bottom of the zone. You see Springer did check his swing. That bat did not go by the front of the plate.
And a walk. George Springer with a leadoff walk against Michael Fulmer. Not a bad way to start.
It's only been one batter, but Fulmer does not look real comfortable on the mound right now. It doesn't look like he has the command that he usually does, and this might be the Astros' chance to jump on him early.
Here's Josh Reddick coming in with a batting average of .280 and 6 home runs on the season. Reddick has really found a home in the number 2 spot in the Astros lineup. Swinging the first pitch into center field, and over there to make the play for out number 1 is Tyler Collins. Jose Altuve, last 10 games, has done a real nice job at the plate.
Seems to have a little bit different approach here at Minute Maid than he does on the road, but this dude can hit anywhere. He's got the speed that if he doesn't hit the ball hard, he's got a chance to beat it out. He's got the power to drive the ball out of the ballpark. And all you have to do is look at where he ended up in the MVP race last year to know that this is one of the best players in all of baseball.
Always enjoys when the Astros and the Tigers play each other because his good buddy resides over at first base, Miguel Cabrera. Pitch away from Fulmer, 1-0. Altuve, one of the 4 home runs for the Astros in yesterday's game. Houston hit 2 in the 9th inning to make it close. It was an 8-6 final. Altuve hit a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. Pitch away, it's 2-0.
See Fulmer yet again just not very comfortable on the plate. I'm sorry, on the mound. Jerking that fastball across the plate. Altuve has to be patient here. Make sure he makes a mistake before he offers at it. Don't let him off the hook by swinging a pitch out of the zone.
Fulmer already with more walks in this game than his last start, where he went 7 innings against the Orioles without a walk. Breaking ball misses. It's now 3-0. Chris Guccione behind home plate. Calling balls and strikes tonight. Carlos Torres, James Hoy, Dana DeMute. The crew chief is at third. So already an opening walk issued to the Astros' George Springer. And now after 1 out, Altuve ahead of the count, 3-0. There's a strike.
Doesn't seem to be anything wrong with his velocity. 96-mile-an-hour 3-0 pitch. Pretty good chance if he gets this one close. Jose's probably hacking at this one.
Jose's batting average against fastballs amongst the best in the game this year. He hasn't seen as many fastballs this season.
He's a 3-hole hitter, and he's a 3rd in the MVP. So, yeah, that's going to say that was the 2-seam fastball there. He does throw mostly 4-seam fastballs, but he does throw a 2-seam fastball that has some pretty good run, and that looked like it surprised Jose Altuve by dropping down and in on him.
Very tough pitch at 3-1. Now the count's full. A little flinch by Springer. He may have been on the move on a 3-2 count with 1 away. Michael Fulmer has gone at least 6 innings in every one of his starts this year. He has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any of those starts, which you have is a guy that's 8 for 8 in quality starts. He's never faced Houston before. This is the first time he's ever faced the Astros. There goes Springer, ball on the ground, base hit, past Castellanos down the third baseline. Springer around third, he will score easily. Jose Altuve with an RBI double, and the Astros on the board 1-0.
He gets a changeup. Jose gets a changeup. 3-2 by Fulmer. He's a little bit out in front, but how many times have we seen Jose pepper that third base line with the ball? Rolls all the way down to the corner. With Springer's speed, he was going on the pitch. There is absolutely no play at the plate, and the Astros are able to break the ice first. This is our Mattress Firm Super Mo. Seeing Springer round third right there with no play. And we showed you the numbers at the beginning of the game. Shows you what we know. Astros score first.
Well, it's good to see after they were trailing pretty much the entire series against Cleveland. They had a 2-0 lead on Friday night against the Indians, and the Indians would score the next 4 runs, and Houston has never led since.
Well, they have now, and you got to remember there's only one out here, so they have a chance of putting up a crooked number here on one of the best pitchers in the American League, Michael Fulmer.
Carlos Correa at the plate with an 0-1 count. Now he's down to the count 0-2. George Springer scored his 28th run of the season. He is tied with both Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve for the team lead in that department. Altuve now in scoring position. Into dirt, 1-2. Because Fulmer has never faced the Astros, a lot of these guys seeing him for just the first time. Only Nori Aoki, who's not in the lineup, and Carlos Beltran, who is in the lineup and on deck, have seen Fulmer prior to tonight.
Most of the time for big league hitters, that is an issue. It takes them a couple at bats to see release points, spin on the breaking ball, what the delivery looks like. Well, Fulmer's made a couple mistakes here. First, not throwing strikes, and then
ball on the ground, off the glove and the shin of Miguel Cabrera. Recovery by Kinsler to get Correa. That is a 3-4-3, as Cabrera couldn't field it cleanly initially.
Well, that routine ground ball really turned entertaining there for a second. Got a little bit of luck with the ball kicking straight to Ian Kinsler at second. Heads up ball player. Then makes the good throw back to Miguel Cabrera at first. And that ball just kind of checked up on him and hit the heel of the glove. That's a former third baseman, by the way, Miguel Cabrera. Yeah, he didn't feel that one like one.
Correa thought that might be caught on the line. Didn't get a great break out of the box. Here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran breaks his bat, sends one into the crowd on the right side. Sounded like he broke his bat, but he's staying with it. Oh no,
here comes the bat boy.
He's just waiting. He's like, I'm 40 years old. I've played 20 major league seasons. I do not have to go to the dugout for a bat.
Future Hall of Famer, you can bring me my bat.
I will wait for one here. Thank you. Gets the.
Yeah, that one was deep in his kitchen. Looked like a fastball in. Now, he does it too many times. Carlos will pull his hands in and get to that ball. But on the first pitch, he got inside on it pretty well.
Breaking ball, low for a ball, 1-1. Carlos with one of the 4 home runs on Sunday. He hit a solo shot in the second inning. His 4th of the season. All 4 have come with Carlos batting left-handed this year. Altuve on third, 2 outs. Astros leading 1-0. Inside, 2-1.
Here's yesterday's swing from Carlos Correa. Now another guy throws hard, Danny Salazar. He tries to get this ball inside. This was an 0-2 pitch. It was supposed to be in off the plate. He left it inner third, and Carlos made him pay.
Now it's 3-1 to Carlos Beltran.
You can see what the scouting report on Carlos Beltran is they are going to pound him inside. The problem is a veteran hitter like this, when he starts looking in there, he knows you're going there. You better get it in there or he's going to hurt you.
You can see on our MD Anderson strike zone, everything in on the hands of Beltran. And now that one was down. Could have been ball 4, but the count's full.
Yeah, that was the changeup. Good pitch. It was supposed to be down and away, but with the speed differential off the fastball, you saw Carlos out in front just a little bit, was able to foul it off.
So a 3-1 changeup has Beltran in front. Now the count's full. Fastball up, and he gets a strikeout of Beltran. So the Astros score 1 run on the RBI double by Jose Altuve and lead 1-0.
And we'll see the Tigers' J.D. Martinez due up this inning. He knows Brad Peacock very well. Both of these guys playing together in the Astros organization. And J.D. said before today's game about Peacock, he said, this is a very new and improved version. The arm slot looks like it's come down a bit. His velocity's a tick up. So not the guy he's used to seeing or facing. Peacock would agree, who's felt better than he's felt in years, guys. That back surgery in 2015 to remove the bone spurs that were pinning nerves to his spine would lock him up in so much pain. It took a long time for him to get his strength back. Has it now, though. Came in this year competing for a spot on the team. Now he's being leaned on to lift up these guys today.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, just ask him. He'll tell you it was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds extremely painful. It's a good description, Julia, but goodness gracious. And you say you want to be a major league pitcher.
The fact that they were teammates in 2013, but as Julia mentioned, you know, Brad's a different guy than even last year, or certainly from the time they were teammates.
He's healthy. He's made the slight little mechanical change, and coming out of the bullpen, we've even seen the fastball elevate the velocity just a little bit, getting up sometimes even into the mid-90s.
Well, Peacock's first start of 2017, and the first inning could not have gone much better as he struck out Ian Kinsler, Alex Avila, and Miguel Cabrera on 12 pitches. Start inning number 2 with Victor Martinez taking a called strike, 0-1. Victor just returning to the Tigers. He was gone for the weekend. Congratulations to he and his wife on the birth of their daughter, Camilla Victoria. Friday, they celebrated the birth of their child down in Florida, so Victor was gone for the team for the weekend, and now he's back and has a 1-1 count. Tigers designated hitter tonight. Victor on the year batting at .270, but .360 in the month of May. Breaking ball low, it's 2-1.
In that first inning, Brad Peacock threw 12 pitches, 9 strikes, and only 4 fastballs. We talked about that breaking ball command. He did very well in the first, and he started off the second doing the same.
Fouled back, 2-2.
That was the changeup. We don't see very many of those, and we talked about how out of the bullpen he's mostly fastball slider, that he's going to start incorporating the other pitches as a starting pitcher. Now, he's probably not going to be out there to face the lineup 3 times, but he very well may face them twice.
It's always interesting to watch a guy like Peacock who goes back and forth from a starter to a reliever, because there are limited number of pitches, obviously, as a reliever, and to keep that repertoire intact, it's difficult. On the ground with the shift on, Correa to his left, lobs a throw, and Gurriel will tag the bag ahead of Victor Martinez, as that throw pulled Gurriel off the bag, but he was aware he had time to get to the bag in time.
2 things about Victor Martinez. 1, the dude can really hit. 2 is he is not fast at all. And you see Correa ranges to his left. Now he's already on the right side of the infield. Watch how far he goes for this ball. Altuve's right behind him, but he turns around and just flips it. Instead of go ahead and put a throw on it, he actually had time to set his feet. Gurriel did a really good job of evacuating the bag, get off the bag, catch the ball, knowing that Victor Martinez was running, had plenty of time to get back to him.
So good play on both sides. Correa to get to the ball, and then Gurriel to come off the bag and make the play, as J.D. Martinez will bat with 1 out and nobody on. Peacock ahead, 0-2. Martinez having himself quite an early season. See what he's done in just 9 games played. He was the American League Player of the Week.
Yeah, that's not a typo. That was 6 home runs in 9 games.
On the ground sharply, but Bregman there to his left. Alex makes the play for out number 2.
Good job by Alex with the good quick first step to his left, set his feet, make the strong throw. The former Astro, J.D. Martinez, a lot of the fans may remember, not very fleet of foot, also has plenty of time to make the strong throw across the field. Brad Peacock right now, he's faced 5 hitters. He's gone first pitch strike, all 5 hitters.
6 for 6 as he gets.
That is outstanding ratio.
Gets a swinging strike from Nick Castellanos. Goes by Nicholas a little bit more this year than we remember in the past. You can see his numbers on the season. Leads the team with 10 doubles, batting .229 coming in. Check swing. Close to a called strike and close to a swing. Instead, it's a 1-1 count. Brad Peacock, as you can see, not giving up much at all. Lowest line drive percentage of his career. All the peripheral numbers are the best of his career, as he's ahead of the count 1-2.
There's the second changeup of the day. This one's a called second strike right on the corner. Castellanos is in the batter's box. Who was this guy?
Highest ground ball rate, highest swing and miss rate. In this game, he's got 3 strikeouts and 2 ground ball outs. Here's another one on the ground. Bregman.
Great pitch on the inside corner.
1-2-3 inning. Brad Peacock has faced 6 and retired 6. It's 1-0 Astros. On Root Sports is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Bottom half of the second inning. Evan Gattis to lead things off against Michael Fulmer. Astros scoring a run in the first, and Gattis swings through a fastball, 0-1. See what Evan has done on the year. Getting a chance to catch a little bit more regularly this week with Brian McCann going on the 7-day concussion list. Pitches away for a ball. It's 1-1.
Word from AJ today was Brian is doing better. There is a protocol first thing. He hasn't doing any baseball activity, but he is starting to do more activity. They got to get the heart rate up, make sure there's a protocol that has to happen here for him to get back on the field.
Line drive into center field. Collins comes on, sliding effort, can't make the play. Evan Gattis on first base with a single to start the second inning.
Take a look at Evan right here. He gets a fastball, looks like out over the plate. That might have been the cut fastball. Tyler Collins makes a good effort, goes with the feet first slide and doesn't quite get there. Does do a good job of knocking the ball down so Evan can't go to second.
So here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin hit a home run last night. Has a team leading 10 home runs, also has a team leading 26 RBIs, taking that spot over from the aforementioned Brian McCann.
In that at-bat, he actually faced a full inning's worth of pitches. That was the 13th pitch of the at-bat, and about the last 6 of them were all fastballs. Zach McAllister throws pretty hard, but Marwin's going to get you eventually. You keep throwing him strikes with that four-seam piece of cheese.
He was followed up quickly by Alex Bregman hitting a home run. And what was an 8-3 game all of a sudden became 8-6.
On the 14th pitch.
That's right.
The very next pitch. Hits it into the Crawford boxes. Thought something was special going on here for another comeback from the Astros. But they end up coming up a couple runs short.
How about Marwin leading the team in home runs and RBIs, and he has 96 at-bats. As the Astros play game number 45 tonight.
He has just done a great job. You know, he doesn't play every day. He's done a great job of keeping his timing at the plate, and he's always been a great fastball hitter. But it seems like he's becoming a smarter hitter, anticipating what pitchers are going to throw him so that he can go ahead and drive the ball out of the ballpark.
He had that stretch there where he had 5 home runs in 5 consecutive starts. Ended up doing a lot of damage, especially in that Texas Rangers series. Marwin hit the first of so far 3 Astros grand slams this season. 1-2 the count. Fulmer ahead. Gattis on first base. Nobody out. Stays alive.
That was pretty nice, right? That was a good pitch by Michael Fulmer. 2-seam fastball off the plate away. Marwin having to protect, reach out, and just poke the ball foul. You know, it's an art to foul off a ball, to actually not put balls in play. The better hitters actually get a chance, learn to do that. Guys like Wade Boggs was just unbelievable at just fouling pitches off and not putting them in play until you made the mistake.
Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, just killing pitchers' pitches until they get one they like. I was trying to figure out the Tigers shifting, and I have no idea, because on the 1-2 pitch, they had Castellanos at third, and then they got a foul ball. It's still 1-2, and they shifted Castellanos over. It might not matter. Oh, no, he did not swing. That was a check swing, says third base and umpire and crew chief Dana Demuth.
After the fastball away, what's coming? Breaking ball in. Michael Fulmer hit his spots, but Marlin was able to check the swing and lay off that pitch down and in.
Seeing good at-bats from the Astros here, first time through against a guy many haven't seen.
Well, we talked about it early about how big league hitters might not necessarily always like to see a guy for the first time.
Past the mound, but flipped by Kinsler. to Machado, and the double play is turned on Marwin Gonzalez. Astros lead the league in hitting into double plays, and they hit one here in the second. That wipes out Evan Gattis.
Where I was going with that, Todd, was they don't necessarily like to see a guy for the first time. It takes a little bit of time for them to get the release point. But it seems like they're picking up the ball pretty well out of Michael Fulmer's hand and putting some quality at-bats together here early in this game.
53rd double play the Astros have been into, and here's Yuli Gurriel. Pitches away for a ball, 1-0. Well, for years it was always, well, the Astros are swinging, missing too much. Now they're putting the ball in play, but with a lot of base runners, they end up hitting into a lot of double plays.
Well, that means you have to have a lot of base runners to do it, like you just said. So, yeah, I'm not necessarily that unhappy with it.
On the ground, Machado to his right, throws on the run. Gurriel retired by a stride. We're through 2. It's 1-0 Houston.
Houston Astros are leading the Detroit Tigers 1-0 going into the top of the third. Join us on Sunday, July 11th for the Astros Foundation Picnic in the Park, presented by Cluckers. Join a picnic-style buffet, games, and an autograph session on the field. Proceeds benefit youth baseball and softball in the Houston area. Visit astros.com/picnic or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more information.
Third inning, what have you noticed out of Brad Peacock with his mix of pitches?
I've noticed curveballs and changeups and lots of strikes. And that's exactly what he needs. That's what any pitcher needs to do to be successful. But for the guy that's got a limited pitch count, spend as much time in the zone as you can. Get ahead of the hitters.
It's almost like he is, normally it's fastball 57% of the time. Tonight,
fastball slider.
Tonight it's been a lot of curveballs, and slider's been his most used pitch to this point.
And even a couple changeups. Yeah, he's gone off speed mostly, and he's got good command with it. So why not?
There is that slider. That's nasty inside and down to a lefty.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch, especially when he had just thrown a fastball for a strike. Now he comes with the breaking ball down and in. And you can see he wasn't anywhere close to that ball.
Facing Tyler Collins, who's down in the count, 1-2 That one's down and in. It's 2-2. Was that curveball and then slider the last two pitches, or were they two sliders? That one looked like it didn't have as much of the up to down break.
Well, he's got a lot of lateral break on his breaking ball because he throws from a low 3/4 arm slot. So he's got some depth, but there's some pretty serious sweep. And here he gets after a couple breaking balls, what do? You slowed him down. Now speed him up. Throws the fastball by him for yet another strikeout for Brad Peacock. See, pitching is three-dimensional. North, south, east, and west, but it's also give and take. And the give and take a lot of times is what will mess a hitter up more because that's what gets them off balance in their swing.
That's when AJ talks about being three-dimensional instead of two-dimensional. It's where you are in the give and take process.
And and Brad Peacock has good speed differential. That's the difference between his fastball velocity and his off-speed stuff. You know, it's 10, 15 miles an hour off.
Fair ball off the bat of Mikey Matuk down the line. Matuk rounding first, but he'll have to hold up with the first hit of the game for the Tigers. Matuk has some friends and family in town from Baton Rouge, attending this series at Minute Maid Park.
There's a breaking ball. That was a slider that Matuk. Really what happens when hitters hit the ball hard, mostly they're mistakes by the pitchers. And that was a slider that he didn't get down and away where he was trying to go. Left it up, left it on the plate. Matuk was able to put the good part of the bat on the ball.
So now Peacock faces Dixon Machado, number 9 hitter. Machado takes a pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Machado starting in place of Jose Iglesias at shortstop. We saw Matuk starting in place of Justin Upton in left field. Late arrival for these Tigers after playing a Sunday night game against the Rangers in Detroit last night. 1-1 to count. Machado making his 6th start at shortstop. And he's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Peacock has done a good job staying ahead of hitters. So far, 4 strikeouts, 3 groundouts, and that single by Mikey Matuk. No chase there. 2-2.
That was good location by Brad Peacock. Another slider that he got down and away, but it was a better take by Machado. I'm not swinging at the pitch.
Swings at that pitch. In fact, his bat ends up hitting the screen behind home plate. Peacock picks up strikeout number 5, second this inning.
That was a fastball for a strike, but with all the off-speed pitches, that 93-mile-an-hour fastball probably looked like 103, and the ball just gets thrown absolutely right by him. You see how late he was? And you got the helicopter action going up against the back screen.
I mean, let's face it, Peacock is striking out hitters at a rate we've never seen in his career. That's now 27 strikeouts in 19 innings on the season.
Todd, he's always had good stuff, but the issue was repeating his delivery and just throwing strikes. And that's why he hasn't, even when he was starting and getting, you know, with a lower ERA like last year, he still wasn't able to go deep because there were just too many balls. And right now he is just pounding the zone and has done it all season for A.J. Hinch.
Ahead 0-2. There's his strikeouts season by season and a huge jump up this year.
Well, even the 8.3, 8.1, though, that's still good numbers. That's still strikeout pitcher numbers. Anything over about 7 to 7.5, you're considered a strikeout pitcher. But to go north of 9, now you're actually in kind of elite water. You know, that's a little different pitcher that's able to do that. I mean, you're talking about as a starter, you're talking about, you know, your top flight starters. And as the relievers, you're talking about usually closers and you're in the back end of the bullpen guys.
By far the highest swing strike percentage of Peacock's career. 1-2 pitch on the ground. Bregman has to hurry, and he does on the move to get Kinsler for the final out. So a 1-out single, the only thing allowed by Peacock through 3 innings. Well, check out the pitch usage by the rest of the league against the Houston Astros, presented by AT&T.
What stands out to me right here, Todd, is the fastball usage is low compared to the rest of the league. You know, average is probably 55, 56%. Now, it doesn't sound like a big number, but this team has scored a lot of runs. They're putting more balls in play, and they're in first place. So you're going to try and mix it up on these guys a little bit more to try and get these guys out.
See Fulmer tonight, 20 of his 35 pitches have been the fastball, as he'll start this inning out by facing Alex Bregman with the fastball, and he fouls it away.
If you look at what he's done historically, even this year, he doesn't usually throw that many fastballs. But when you're out there struggling, you're trying to figure out exactly where the ball is going, you're going to throw more fastballs. Now, unfortunately, the Astros have only been able to score 1 run and get 2 hits against him. But they've had some quality at-bats, and they do have the pitch count up here to 36 pitches here to start with 1 pitch in the 3rd inning.
Fastball in at 96. It's 1-1. Well, the chart you saw, the 50% represents the lowest fastball percentage that any team sees. There you see the Blue Jays and the Royals are next closest, a full percentage point ahead of A.J. Hinch's Astros. And the slider, the most prevalent pitch that any team sees, at over 20%.
Well, I think that states really what the league is throwing, what the pitchers are throwing, that you might not get a guy that throws a slider and a curve, not very many of those guys. So, usually starting pitchers are 3-pitch, sometimes 4-pitch pitchers, and a lot of times the slider is the breaking ball that they're seeing.
Fouled away, heavy dose of fastballs to Bregman. It's 2-2.
Bottom line is, we talked about 3-dimensional pitching. That's what the slider and the off-speed stuff does. It's trying to get that Astros timing off the fastball.
2-2 pitch. Bregman tries to hold up. He does. It's 3-2. When you were watching Fulmer in the first inning and you thought he looked a little uncomfortable, are you watching a combination of things? Are you watching body language? You're watching delivery?
Mostly body language.
Yeah.
Facial expressions, what he's doing on the mound. He's playing with the dirt. It just shows that he's not real comfortable. You got to remember, this is a young guy. This isn't a 10-year vet, even though he's pitching.
3-2 pitch on the ground towards the hole. Machado gloves, long throw, no chance. Bregman an infield hit.
Great play by Machado just to get there. He showed some real range and some arm strength to get it across the infield, but Bregman with pretty good speed. Not quite Derek Jeter-esque on the jump throw. But with the slow start that Bregman's had this year, he'll take every hit he could possibly get.
Doesn't hit in the 9 spot very often, but he's in there tonight. He's also in there.
That's some arm strength to get the ball all the way across the infield, on the air, on a line, when your weight is going completely opposite of where you're trying to throw.
So Bregman a leadoff base runner. The Astros have had a leadoff runner on all 3 innings. Pitch is a strike as Springer went around, 0-1. His slider, Fulmer's slider, as you take a look at what George did, scoring that 28th run of the season. Fulmer's slider normally comes in at 88, 89, 90. There's a high-octane fastball and a high-octane slider.
Yeah, the changeup is kind of firm, too. He doesn't have a whole lot of speed differential, but with that high-velocity fastball.
In the air to right field, hanging up for J.D. Martinez for out number 1.
You can see George not happy about the results of that, but that was a good swing. And when George gets on a roll, he starts hitting the ball the opposite field. It means the ball's traveling a little bit more. He's seeing the ball better. So hopefully that's good signs to come, because I felt like in the weekend series against the Indians, he was trying to pull everything. He was trying to take everything downtown. That might be a good sign going forward for George.
All right, we'll watch for that for Springer's next couple of at-bats, as here's Josh Reddick. Reddick flied out to center field his first time up. Julia, what do you have for us?
Well, Mike was about to start talking about his changeup, and I did want to say that the Astros are not going to forget about the changeup of Fulmer today, because in his last start they were watching video and said he threw 8 or 9 of them, but got 7 swing and misses. So with him, they just got to stay in the zone. But they've got to be ready for all of those pitches, guys.
Yeah, the whiff percentage on his changeup is in the top 5 in the major leagues.
It's also the reason why A.J. Hinch has put right-handers in this lineup.
Josh Reddick up the middle for a base hit. Astros have 2 aboard. Bregman an infield hit, and Reddick a single to center.
Take a look at that changeup from Fulmer. He leaves this one a little bit up. In his last start, he threw a lot down below the zone and got good results with it. But A.J. wanted to fill this lineup with right-handed hitters to kind of neutralize that changeup. That's his best secondary pitch. You know, for a right-hander, that ball's going to have a tendency to come in towards him, and you have a better chance of hitting it as a hitter when that ball is coming into you.
So here's Jose Altuve. Norioki getting the night off, left-hand hitter. And with Brian McCann on the 7-day concussion list, Juan Centeno is up as the backup catcher, and he's a left-hand hitter, given the night off. But they did have a couple of lefty options, and as Mike said, going with righties tonight against Fulmer. And it's a 1-0 count to Jose Altuve.
Yeah, just one left-hander, and unfortunately, he just got a hit. That was Josh Reddick. Marwin's down there also, but Marwin's a switch hitter.
And Beltran as well gets a turnaround and hit from the left side. Here's Jose Altuve with an RBI double his first time up. Pitches away. It's 2-0. Michael Fulmer, last year's American League Rookie of the Year. He's the only pitcher who's got enough innings the last 2 seasons in the American League that has an ERA below 3.
He had an outstanding season last year, and the second half wasn't quite as dominant as the first half, but I was happy to see that Gary Sanchez did not win it just because of some home runs he hit in September.
He made it a little interesting.
By the way, 19.
He made it interesting with 19 home runs in like 50 games.
Well, this is a sport that is so much what have you done for me lately, and you know, Sanchez did it down the stretch, so it was in vogue. It was out there for us to see right then, and at the time Fulmer was still pitching okay, but just not nearly as dominant as he had been early in the season.
It also didn't hurt Sanchez that he was doing it all in New York City.
Well, there's no more media coverage than in New York, that's for sure.
3-0 pitch is sent into left field. Matuk is there to make the play. So green light for Altuve. He flies out to left for out number 2, and he's a little frustrated.
Yeah, Jose felt that was a pitch he should have been able to cover. We're going to take a look at it right here. That was a fastball up, and we know that Jose Altuve is a very good high ball hitter, and we've seen him drive that ball over the tracks, much less just for a home run. And that's why we saw the reaction from Jose Altuve, just because he felt like that was a pitch that he could have really done something with.
He didn't miss by much, but he missed it just enough to fly out to left. So now 2 outs, 2 on, and Carlos Correa the batter. Correa hit a sharp ground ball his first time up that went off the leg of Miguel Cabrera, fielded by Kinsler, who threw to first in time for the ground out. We mentioned Fulmer has gone at least 6 innings in each of his starts this season. Right now he's about to make his 50th pitch of the game. And his high pitch count on the year is 114. On the ground towards second, Kinsler will flip to the shortstop Machado to get Reddick on the force out. And the Astros leave 2 on and lead at 1-0.
On our Twitter page at Root Sports SW. Today we ask you, who is the best hitter of the past decade? Robinson Cano, Miguel Cabrera, Joey Votto, or you can write in your own candidate. Votto leading the league in OBP over the decade. Cano and Cabrera, that's a lot of hits in those 10 years, guys.
A lot of hitters in that group. Tonight's stroll.
Can you go wrong with any of them?
No, you can't go wrong. I'm interested to see the write-in candidates. Those are my favorites.
That'll be interesting, but I'm going to have to go with Joey Votto. I mean, that guy is just unbelievable. The quality of bat he puts together. And I know he's taken some heat because he doesn't drive the ball out of the ballpark. He's taken some heat because he doesn't go outside the zone. But as far as bat-to-ball skills and how hard he hits the ball consistently, they're all pretty amazing. And but I'm a Votto guy.
He's not as protected in his lineup as those other guys are.
But he is in a big-time hitter-friendly ballpark.
Yeah, no doubt.
The great American launching pad.
2-0 the count to Alex Avila to start the fourth. Glad you could join us on this Monday night. Todd Callis alongside Mike Stanton filling in for Jeff Blum. Had the scheduled series off. Julia Morales down in the Astros dugout, and she just gave us the Stroh poll. Houston leading Detroit 2-1. We're watching Brad Peacock in his first start of the year. He has been very impressive through 3.
The question is, how far is AJ going to let him go? His pitch count now is in the low 40s. That was his 44th pitch. Well, the reason I say that is because he hasn't gone more than 2 innings all year, and he hasn't gone 2 innings since May 4th. So every outing since then has only been 1 inning.
And he gets another strikeout, getting Alex Avila. That is 6 strikeouts in the game. He's gotten Avila twice. The Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight falls on Miguel Cabrera and what he has done against the Astros since 2014.
Average is good, but look at the power numbers in the OPS. Major League average on base plus slugging is about 775, and him a well over 900. Just shows he's gotten on base and he's driven the ball at a pretty good rate.
AJ Hinch was asked about Cabrera today and said, I really like watching him on TV. Don't
like to watch him in person.
Don't necessarily like to watch him when he's in the opposing dugout. And the count's 2-0.
Well, coming into this series, he's batting .265, and that's okay, but that's not okay for Miguel Cabrera. This guy is usually well over 300, more like 330.
Tried to hold up. Cabrera asked for the appeal, which is a little unusual. That's how Miggy likes to roll. 3-0 the count.
He does that on occasion. The reason he does it is to tell the first base umpire that he didn't feel like he swung.
3-0 green light. He fouls one back to the screen.
And with the reputation that he has, well, a lot of times he gets the call. Here's some numbers spotlighted since 2008. You can see this guy's one of the best right-handed hitters we have of our generation, and the numbers back it up.
3-1 pitch just misses. Peacock issues his first walk.
He went 3-1 changeup away. That ball did look like it just missed away, but another quality pitch, even though you walked him. The good thing about walking Miguel Cabrera is he's only on first base, and he's basically a roadblock. He has got no wheels whatsoever. He might be faster than Albert Pujols, but that might be it.
Well, they have some pop in the middle of their lineup with Cabrera and Victor Martinez, but they do slow you down on the bases. We saw Victor.
What is it called? Let's be nice and call it station to station.
That would be one way to put it. Victor grounded out on a ball that Carlos Correa threw wide of the bag, and Yuli Gurriel had time to leave the bag and come back to tag it. He takes a breaking ball for a strike. Dropped a curveball in to start the at-bat.
He's had a really nice feel of that curveball tonight. He's thrown a lot of them for strikes and a lot of takes, just because hitters aren't used to seeing curveballs from Brad Peacock.
Fastball fouled back. Peacock ahead 0-2. Brad Peacock came into spring training out of options. The Astros started him in the very first spring training game of the year. That was in February against the Tigers. We figured we got to get this guy as many looks, not only for us, but if he's not going to be an Astro, for everybody else.
And that did help him making this roster, but that's not the reason he did it. He pitched his way on this 25-man roster.
Paul gets away. Cabrera is going to advance to second. And he got down to second in a hurry there on that little wild pitch.
Miggy runs hard. Not necessarily fast, but he runs just as hard as everyone else. Here, Brad Peacock, 0-2, is going breaking ball down and into V-Mart. Evan did a pretty good job of trying to block it, but that ball bounced in front of home plate, and just not a whole lot he could do with a pitch out of the zone that far.
Well, Peacock still ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again in the dirt. This one's smothered by Gaddis. 2-2.
Same pitch, curveball down and in. Evan did a better job of getting around this ball and keeping that ball in front of him, so Cabrera couldn't go to third.
One hit and 1 walk allowed by Peacock.
Cabrera's messing with Alex Bregman right now, acting like he's going to steal third.
Ball hit hard to center field, but Springer gets back on it, makes the play. Victor Martinez retired on a line drive to the Astros center fielder. A little sigh of relief for Peacock, as that was one of the few balls stung hard off him tonight.
Yeah, that ball was struck well, especially ahead in the count like he was. That's why you got the 8 guys behind you, or 7 guys behind you, 1 guy in front of you.
Some of our viewers chiming in. Previous fans said he's writing in Mike Trout.
Can't really go wrong with that, except Trout doesn't have the accumulation of numbers like these other guys do.
Pujols for the 2000s. Runner on second, 2 outs. Breaking ball called strike. And he's dropping both the slider and the curveball in for a strike when he wants to.
Looks like Chris Davinsky is up in the Astros pen. We were questioning how far he was going to go. We thought somewhere between 50 and 60. He's at 56 pitches. Brad Peacock is right now. And he does have 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Davinsky did not pitch in that series against the Indians. The Astros didn't lead late in any of those games. Now Peacock ahead, 0-2. We also have the combination of Miguel Cabrera and Jose Altuve at second base, and that's always interesting to watch because those guys always have a good time together.
Yeah, I don't think they've stopped talking yet.
They could almost pick off Cabrera.
Miggy's got his back to the plate. Brad Peacock's on JD a couple very good breaking balls, curveballs down and away.
And he gets him on 3 pitches. If that's the final batter Brad Peacock faces, it was quite a start tonight. 4 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball, and the Astros lead after 3.5, 1-0.
1-0 and trying to snap a 3-game losing streak, losing all 3 to the Cleveland Indians. And A.J. Hinch said before the game, this weekend sucked. That is a quote from the manager. But that's really how this entire clubhouse felt. They had to play from behind a lot, and they didn't really feel good about that against such a tough bullpen. But this group, like Lance McCullers said right before the game, guys, he has no doubt they'll be able to bounce back. The calmness of the team is what got them here, and they'll continue to do just that.
Yeah, I don't sense, and Julia's always around the guys in the clubhouse, I don't sense any panic. It's really early. They just had a little 3-game stretch against a very good team.
One thing about baseball is you are not going to win them all. and these guys know this. They've got some veteran presence with guys like Beltran on the team now that they're going to stay nice and calm. They understand that they're going to lose a few ball games here and there. It's a matter of what you do with that. Can you put that behind you and move forward? That's the good thing about playing 3-game series. It's just a couple days. You may be seeing another opponent.
And a tough opponent today, especially with Michael Fulmer on the mound. Got us behind in the count, 0-1. Yeah, you're not going to win every game, and more than likely, barring a special season like Seattle had one year, you're not going to win 70% of your games either. And that was the pace the Astros were on prior to this weekend.
Yes, and that season you're talking about,
116
wins. Now, unfortunately, I was on a team that knocked them out in the first round with the Yankees. They were not real happy about that, but that was a special season, no doubt.
On the ground towards deep short. Machado will make the play. Retired Gaddis for out number 2. We had some special times in the postseason with the Yankees, but that series in Seattle, knocking out the team with the most wins ever.
They were a pretty prolific offensive team, and we did a really good job of making some quality pitches, getting them out of the game, getting ahead in the game early. So that was a great series. It was a fun run, but it looks like Michael Fulmer is really kind of settled in here. Pitch count actually doesn't look nearly as bad. He's thrown 54 pitches now here in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs.
2 outs, bases cleared. Marwin Gonzalez the opposite way. Long run, Matuk looking up. This ball's off the scoreboard. Marwin Gonzalez into second base with a 2-out double. Marwin continues to hit this season. He came in with a 281 batting average for Marwin Gonzalez. That's his 4th double of the year.
There are all kinds of little nooks and crannies out there on that manual scoreboard. We're going to see Marwin gets a fastball. It was on the inside part of the plate, but he inside outs it. Hits right off the top, right above Colorado on that manual scoreboard. You see the ball bounces up. Marwin glides into second with an easy stand-up double. Thought that had a chance to get out of here. A few more feet. We're talking about Astros doubling their lead.
There you see where the ball bounced. Gonzalez not far away from his 11th home run of the year. He's a 1-out base runner at second base. Excuse me, a 2-out base runner at second base for Yuli Gurriel. Yuli grounded out to shortstop his first time up. 5th hit for the Astros. Second extra base hit. Jose Altuve with an RBI double in the first. Yuli takes one inside for a ball, 1-0.
Todd, we were talking about pitch count. What you're looking at as a pitching coach looking at your pitcher, you're looking at an average of 12 to 15 pitches per inning. And if you do that, that puts you 6 innings around the 90 pitch mark. That's a good pace. You go any higher than that, then now you're talking, as far as average is concerned, you get up to 18, 20 pitches per inning. Now you're talking about that's when you get the 5 and die. Pitcher goes 5 innings, he has to come out of the game because he's at 100 pitches too quickly.
I think that's one of the things Lance McCullers Jr. has improved on so well this year is his pitches per inning.
Wow. I mean, he has made a big leap forward. I mean, not walking very many guys at all. Now, he has given up some more hits, but his last few starts, he has really dominated well. And on the road, which has always been his Achilles heel.
19 straight innings in his 3 starts on the road without allowing an earned run. 2-1 the count to Yuli Gurriel. We saw Chris Davinsky up last half inning, but he has not thrown a pitch during the Astros turn it bad. So maybe Brad Peacock gets to start the 5th inning. We shall see. 2-1 pitch on the ground towards the middle through the legs of Marlon Gonzalez, and the throw in time by Machado to retire Yuli Gurriel. Marwin tried to shield the defender. Didn't quite work out, but it wasn't a bad idea as the sun is setting on the city of Houston.
And what he has done tonight, just doing a great job of commanding the breaking ball, getting ahead of these Tigers hitters, striking out 7 here in 4 innings. And Todd, by the way, he's right back out there in the 5th. You have to go 5 to get the win. He's only given up 1 hit through 4. Let's see if he can nurse this lead through 5.
And he starts out Nicholas Castellanos with a slider for a strike, 0-1. I like this. AJ's giving him a shot to get through 5.
He's earned it. I mean, he's thrown the ball exceptionally well all year. He's thrown the ball exceptionally well this game. And with that swing by Castellano right there, it shows that they are just simply not picking up the ball out of his hand. Now he's thrown 60 pitches. He's getting into a little bit of a shady area right here because he hasn't done this all season.
And Chris Davinsky does throw as this inning begins. You've got to think Brad Peacock has a very tight leash this inning. If he can get through this inning, he would qualify. He still has the lead for the win. And AJ, after watching him through 4 innings, had a little conversation with he and Brent Strom last inning. Sending Peacock back out for the 5th. Now it's 3-1. Brad has not missed when he's missed. He has not missed by much.
No, we've seen him in the past, actually, especially on fastballs up, really miss and elevate. 3-1 fastball down the middle to get to 3-2. And we've just seen him just not nearly this sharp. Actually, this is the sharpest I've seen him ever. Even last year when he came up and started a few games.
3-2, foul tip caught by Evan Gattis. Strikeout number 8. Peacock has struck out 8 of the 15 batters he has faced.
That's called a hanging breaking ball. And if you hang it good enough, when the ball just simply doesn't come down, it gets above the hitter's eyes, it gets above the hitter's bat, and there's not a whole lot they can do with it. They're expecting the ball to drop. The ball stays elevated. Sometimes hanging breaking ball, that's the best pitch in the arsenal.
Now here's Tyler Collins, who struck out his first time up. Peacock misses 1-0. Even by missing on that first pitch to Tyler Collins, Brad Peacock has still thrown 11 out of 16 first pitch strikes tonight. He's down in the count 2-0. He was down to Castellanos 3-1, now down to Collins 2-0.
AJ looking a little concerned on the bench, knowing that this pitch count is getting to the point that he may not have a choice. It's 66 right now, and again, he hasn't gone more than 1 inning in over 3 weeks, and he hasn't gone more than 2 innings all season.
Hadn't been stretched out since spring training in his hometown of West Palm Beach. And now the count's 2-2.
Well, that doesn't stink. You actually get to stay home for spring training.
Yeah, right where,
sleep in your own bed.
Right, not far from where he grew up and went to high school, and actually went to Palm Beach Community College as well, right down the road. 2-2 is now a full count. Prior to this inning, Brad Peacock had walked 1 batter, but had not had a full count. Now he's had 2 back-to-back.
Things that the pitching coaches are looking for, and AJ is looking for when a pitcher starts laboring. Does he lose velocity? Well, we haven't seen that from Brad. Does he lose location? We haven't seen that either. So even though the pitch count's there.
Oh, he lost that batter. A couple of 3-2 counts and a walk. And A.J. Hinch, with a 70 pitch total on Brad Peacock, is going to go out and get him. He deserves and should receive a nice hand from this crowd after that outing.
Did an outstanding job in a spot start situation. 70 pitches. He's going to be a little sore tomorrow, but A.J.'s giving him a good talking to and thanking him for a job well done.
In comes Chris Davinsky. Brad Peacock, quite a start tonight. Second walk issued by Brad Peacock as he will leave the game, and coming on is Chris Davinsky.
Chris Davinsky, the right hander, you see the numbers right here. The ERA is a little elevated. He's had a couple bad games. This guy has been one of the best relievers in the American League and has a devastating changeup.
Told you Michael Fulmer has a changeup that's in the top 5 in the major leagues in whiff percentage. This guy's number 1. Nobody has had more swings and misses on the changeup than Devo, the Dragon, Chris Davinsky.
Todd, he has such a funky delivery. He's kind of got arms and legs going all over the place. He doesn't step to the plate. He steps behind a left-handed hitter. But his ability to repeat his mechanics is what allows him to make the pitches that he does. And with all that,
runner on the move, fastball, and the throw is on the money but safe. Tyler Collins picks up his first steal of the year.
This was a lot closer than it looked. Jose Altuve actually tags him on top of the head. The runner is Tyler Collins, and AJ wants to take a look at it. And this is not the umpire's fault if he is out, which he is, in my opinion. He is out. That's a very hard call because the tag is on the upper part of the body. It's hard to see the tag and when the foot gets there. And here, Mattress Firm Super Mo, we see the tag and its foot's still a couple inches off the bag. So good job by AJ recognizing this very quickly and them getting the headsets on over here down the third base line.
When I saw Collins jump, I thought he was going to be safe. Quick release and a perfect throw by Evan Gattis.
I'll tell you, Evan Gattis has done a great job since getting back behind the plate last year of working on his footwork. Has a good, strong arm with a short, quick release, and he's very accurate with those throws. This one a little bit high and to the arm side, but Altuve with the good tag. And there's the decision. The call is overturned. Here's a take a look at Gattis. Gets a pitch out over up away from him to make the throw. And the tag is actually created by the throw itself. Jose Altuve gets there in time to catch the ball. Tag Collins on the head. Big second out right here for Chris Davinsky and the Astros.
Collins now 0 for 4 in the stolen base department. Altuve is going to shift over to the third base side of the bag on this 1-1 pitch to Matuk as he lines one foul and out of play, 1-2.
But to go back to Gattis and the work that he's put in, you got to remember his manager's a former catcher.
Yep.
And AJ was a very good catcher. He put so much work in because I remember him coming over from Atlanta. Atlanta liked him so little behind the plate, they put him in left field. And you know, Evans not exactly the most fleet of foot. But he did the work he needed to. He told the Astros he wanted to be a catcher. He wanted to be behind the dish. And here we go. We see what Brad Peacock did tonight in his 70 pitches. You see the fastball, only 26 fastballs. A lot of off-speed pitches, but he dominated tonight.
First changeup Mikey Matuk has seen as he's never faced Chris Davinsky, and he swings through it. Debo with a strikeout. The 2017 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale now for only $25. Kids up to 12 years old get a voucher for 4 tickets to a select Astros game. Priority access to kids running the bases, player autograph sessions, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies to get a Buddies membership for your kid today. Alex Bregman leading off the bottom half of the 5th inning. Strike one called. Bregman with an infield single his first time up. 1 of 5 hits for the Astros against Michael Fulmer. What a job by Brad Peacock tonight. 4 1/3 innings of 1 hit, 8 strikeout baseball. He walked a couple and handed the ball over to Chris Davinsky. We got 2 outs by only facing 1 batter with a caught stealing in the mix. Bregman sends the ball in the air to right field. J.D. Martinez is there for out number 1.
I don't think A.J. Hinch could have asked for any more. Going into today, best case scenario, Brad Peacock get me into the 5th inning with a lead when you're facing one of the best pitchers in the American League in Michael Fulmer. I don't think that there's anything more that A.J. could ask for Brad.
And I think Brad Peacock going to 70 pitches, A.J. at the 60 pitch count going through 4. Let him go out there for more in the 5th inning. It was really fun to watch Peacock, who stayed ahead of the count almost the entire game until that final inning when he fell behind 3-1 and 2-0 to those 2 hitters.
Well, we saw him use his breaking ball. He actually pitched what's called backwards, which means you throw a lot of breaking balls and you surprise with the fastball late in the count. And he did a remarkable job of that tonight, really commanding that curveball, maybe unlike we've ever seen him do. I mean, we know he's got a good curveball, but the way he was able to actually move it around, not just throw it for strikes, but actually backdoor it, go down and in on a left-hander. I mean, just did a great job of executing his game plan.
George Springer with a 1-1 count, walked and scored the game's only run in the 1st inning when he came around on a Jose Altuve double. He's also flied to right. Fulmer ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes as George misses the changeup. Yes, that is a changeup at 89.
Like we said earlier, not a whole lot of speed differential for Michael Fulmer. Everything is pretty hard. It's just the fastball is quite a bit harder than the changeup and breaking ball.
Down low, doesn't chase there, 2-2. You know who else deserves credit if the Astros are able to win this game? And by saving the bullpen yesterday, a guy who's not here, Asher Tolliver, did quite a job in yesterday's game.
He was yesterday's MVP, just for that reason. And I know when I was in bullpens and somebody stepped up and did that, not necessarily through shutout, but just through multiple innings to keep pressure off the rest of the bullpen, he very well may help the Astros win for the next 2 or 3 days because the bullpen wasn't tapped out because the starter just simply didn't go very deep in the game.
He ate up 4 innings. Tolliver optioned to Fresno after the game yesterday. The corresponding move today is Jordan Jankowski has been called up. Jankowski has never pitched in a major league game before, and he's the new arm for the Astros in the bullpen. 3-2 pitch to Springer and foul tip at the plate.
And I'll tell you, AJ had nothing but high praises for Asher today in his in the meetings here before this game. He really felt like that Asher did a good job of opening the eyes of the organization. And so the next time somebody gets called up, AJ will remember what he did yesterday.
No doubt. It's hard not to think about Asher Tolliver and his success yesterday. And there's Jordan Jankowski. Looks pretty calm there, but you know he's full of nerves in his first major league game sitting in the bullpen. What was that like when you were out there? You were the veteran, 19 seasons, when you had a new kid who had never been in the bullpen at the big league level.
I would always go up and try and make them feel comfortable, because I remember when I first got called up, it was awkward to say the least. I was 24 years old. I was a bullpen full of veterans, but go down up there, shake his hand, tell him welcome. Listen, you need anything, let me know. I'll help you out. We're all here pulling on the same side of the rope.
Good thing is he has some buddies like James Hoyt who spent some time with him in the minor league level as George Springer swings through it. Julia?
Well, when Jordan Jankowski got here, he got the locker that's closest to the door where the media walks in, where everyone walks in. A lot of traffic right there, and he's next to Chris Davinsky, who said, hey, Jordan, I actually had that locker last year, so hang with him, and you might work your way farther away from the door. But they welcomed him with open arms today. So many of these guys know him because he has been in this system since 2012. Played with a bunch of them since 2012, going back that far. But they were thrilled. They dogpiled him last night when he got the news in AAA from Tony DeFrancesco, and then he had a tough day of travel, but you wouldn't be able to tell by the joy that has been on his face all day long, taking the field for the first time, and we look forward to seeing him on the mound for the very first time as well, guys.
No, he looks like he's ready to go. I'm sure he's filled with adrenaline.
I'm sure there's nothing but adrenaline. That long day of travel seemed like it was a flight from here to Dallas because he was going to the big leagues. That's awesome. One of the things I always told the young guys, it's pretty simple. I would say when you get out on the mound, remember to breathe. Remember, take deep breaths, calm down. You're here because you have the ability to be here.
How about the lefty Josh Reddick against Michael Fulmer tonight? 2 for 3 with a couple of singles to center field. Mentioned Fulmer can be really tough on lefties, but Josh has him a couple of times tonight.
The first one was on a changeup. This is on a fastball, and you see it center cut for Josh Reddick. And Josh, that was a two-seam fastball that did not work away from Josh Reddick. And Josh is probably happy he got a single, but he might want that one back, that there might have been more damage done on that pitch right down the middle.
Lefties coming in this season batting just 159 against Fulmer. In his career, he's limited lefties to a 205 average. Now with 2 outs, Altuve bats with Reddick on first.
That's compared to about a 250 average against right-handers.
Altuve showing bunt, misses it, 0-1. Saw Altuve double his first time up, scoring the game's only run. Altuve's 22nd RBI of the year, and then flied out to left on a 3-0 pitch his last time up. Reddick has stolen 1 base this season in 3 attempts.
This is a good time to steal. You got no balls and 1 strike. It's a breaking ball count. You got Jose Altuve up, so if he does get thrown out, you got Jose Altuve leading off the inning next inning. So obviously Michael Fulmer and Brad Ausmus, the manager, feel the same way, because a lot of times these throwovers are actually coming from the bench via the catcher.
Fulmer does throw a lot of sliders to righties, especially ahead of the count. Reddick stays. There is a slider, fouled back. And it's 0-2 to Altuve.
You know, we've been talking tonight about speed differential. You saw that's a 91-mile-an-hour slider/cutter from Michael Fulmer. See, if that pitch was just 3 or 4 miles an hour slower, that's a swing and miss by Jose Altuve. But because the speed is so hard, he was able to foul it off, even though it was pretty good location out away from the plate.
There's a change up down in the dirt, 1-2. Fastball slider change up from Fulmer. We've seen them all, and early on the Astros got to him in the first inning, but he has kind of settled in, as he said.
Actually looks more like a veteran out there instead of a guy in his second year. He's given up 6 hits. Astros have had some base runners, just haven't been able to capitalize. And now it seems like he's actually gotten to the flow of the game a little bit. Luckily, the Astros were able to score that 1 run in the first.
In the air, right center field, J.D. Martinez calls off Tyler Collins and puts it away for the final out. So 1 man left on base. We are through 5 at Minute Maid Park. It's 1-0 Houston. Sports is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide, that's transparency. And by the original light beer, Miller Lite. Hold true. Sixth inning baseball between the Tigers and the Astros. First full inning of work for Chris Davinsky as he faces the number 9 hitter, Dixon Machado. Starts him out with a pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Machado struck out his first time up, one of 8 strikeouts issued by Brad Peacock tonight. Ball into the air in center field, shallow. Springer comes on and makes another great play. George Springer putting together a highlight reel in this homestand.
Unbelievable concentration. He gets a great jump, and he just loves to do this. He loves to rob people. You can see the jump that he got and then the closing speed. Keeps his eye on the ball, gets the glove underneath. Right off the top of the grass. Just another great catch by George Springer.
That a baby, says Devo. So 1 out, base is cleared. Here's Ian Kinsler. Ball striking the knees. Oh, one thing about Springer, whenever he dives, he can get his glove on the ball. He usually comes up with it. He has made some spectacular diving catches this year as Davinsky misses inside for a ball, 1-1.
What a luxury it is for A.J. Hinch to be able to run out there and outfield of Josh Reddick, Gold Glove guy in right, George Springer, Gold Glove caliber center fielder. I mean, it's just unbelievable the ground these guys can cover. And you saw the relief on Chris Davinsky's face, knowing that he's got George Springer out there, that if he gives something up out there, George has a good chance of catching it.
And there's another guy who's in the dugout, Jake Marisnick, who sometimes moves.
Might be better than all of them.
Who sometimes moves George out of center field. That's how good Jake is. 3-1 pitch, high pop-up on the infield. Who wants it? Altuve usually takes these, and he will here right in front of Yuli Gurriel. That's a guy who covers a lot of ground. Coca-Cola Value Nights package is one of the best ballpark bargains you can find. This offer is available for Monday through Thursday regular season games. Here's what you get: a ticket, a hot dog, a soda, and a popcorn, all for just $18. Visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info. 2 outs, nobody on. Alex Avila, the batter. Avila struck out twice against Brad Peacock. And a called strike, 0-1. Davinsky drops in a strike, 0-2. Unfortunately for Brad Peacock, 4 1/3 innings is not enough to qualify for a win. If the team could vote, if they hold on to this lead, I'm sure they would vote for Brad Peacock to get the win, but it's up to somebody out of the bullpen if the Astros win this game.
You can look at those first 2 pitches by Chris Davinsky just right on the corner. And again, he's so funky on the mound with his delivery. Hitters just simply don't pick up the ball out of his hand. And then he's got the circle of death. Then he's got the changeup that is just next to unhittable when he throws it down in the zone. And he is such a luxury for A.J. Hinch, just because he's able not to just to come in and give you innings. He can give you quality. I mean, he could close if you wanted him to. He's done it already.
He's basically the right-handed version of Andrew Miller. He can close. He can give you multiple innings.
That's actually, it's a pretty good comp. Now, he doesn't have the resume that Andrew Miller does, but when you look at how A.J. uses him, it's similar to what Tito Francona does with Miller.
Called third strike. Davinsky gets his second strikeout. And a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. Astros lead it 1-0.
At Minute Maid Park is Dollar Hot Dog Wednesday. Scarf down all the dollar dogs you can eat on this Wednesday by visiting astros.com/dollardogs or calling 1-877-9-ASTROS. TK.
All right, Julia, thank you very much. A lot of fans looking forward to that a couple of nights from now when the Tigers have Daniel Norris on the mound against Charlie Morton. In this game, we're in the bottom half of the 6th inning with Carlos Correa leading off. Carlos has grounded out a couple of times. Astros have 6 hits against Michael Fulmer, but his pitch count's been in good order after a 24-pitch first inning. He's at 77 right now as he begins the 6th inning.
He's had a couple really quick innings, and he's done a better job. Looks much more comfortable on the mound than he did early in the game. There's been a couple innings that he's had a pretty low pitch count to get that pitch count back in order.
Pitch misses away to Correa, 2-0. Fulmer just 24 years old. Acquired by the Tigers along with Luis Cessa, the New York Mets at the trade deadline of 2015. That was the trade that sent Yoenis Cespedes to the Mets.
What brings to mind when we start talking about that is just the depth of the Mets minor league system with all the pitchers. You put this guy in there with the rotation that they already have. Now, they haven't performed because they're hurt quite a bit, but the talent level is just off the chart. And it shows that the Mets, if you look back over the career of that organization, the history of that organization, they have always been able to develop pitching.
That has always been a strength for the team in Queens. 2-2 the count to Carlos Correa after he took that last pitch. Now it's a 3-2 count. Astros had the leadoff base runner on the first 3 innings, only cashed in 1 time. Of the 6 hits, a couple of doubles and 4 singles for Houston's offense. Carlos stays alive. That was one of those pitcher's pitches that
it looked like a cutter away off the plate, started on the corner and broke it off. The league respects Carlos Correa quite a bit and his power, especially to hit the ball the opposite field. So he can't just sit there and do what Marwin did last night against Zach McAllister and just think it's going to be a fastball.
On the ground, couple of hops, throw from deep third in time. Castellanos throws out Correa for the first out of the bottom of the 6th.
There's another cut fastball that Correa caught off the end of the bat, out in front just a little bit, even though it was 93 miles an hour.
Here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran has struck out and popped up.
Now Brad Osmus with the shift on against Beltran actually moved the third baseman, Nicholas Castellanos. He's actually playing second right now, and the second baseman, Ian Kitzler, is playing rover in right field.
1-0 pitch down low for a ball, 2-0. There is the former Astro, Brad Osmus. Always good to see him in town. We will hear from Brad during the course of this series. Be interviewed by our own Kevin Eschenfelder. 2-0 pitch is a little slicing foul ball that's going to head into the crowd. It's 2-1. Bats against him of any Astro. This will be his 10th at bat against Michael Fulmer in his career. On the ground towards the left side, the only man there is Dixon Machado, who makes the play, and Beltran retired for out number 2. Carlos still looking for his first hit in 10 at bats against Fulmer. So 2 outs and the bases are cleared. Saw the final score in Cincinnati tonight. The Indians, after sweeping the Astros, go into the Battle of Ohio, and they lost to the Reds tonight 5-1.
That's that same team that the best team in all of baseball, the Houston Astros, couldn't do anything with over the weekend.
Evan Gattis with 2 out and nobody on. Fouls one at the plate. They had a little team meeting to the Indians before that series, and I think they're kind of geared up to play the team that had a 29-12 record.
Tito Francona is not a big yeller and screamer. He's actually not a big talker. So when he does talk, you better pay attention. He's got a great track record. He's a great players manager.
In on the hands, Machado from deep shortstop, sidearm throw on the money. Nice play by the Tigers shortstop to retire Evan Gattis. So a 1-2-3 inning as Fulmer's through 6, but he trails 1-0.
Time to reveal the winner of tonight's Chevy Stroh Poll. Thanks for voting. At Root Sports SW on Twitter is where you can find our question of the day. And we asked you today, who's the best major league hitter of the past decade? So we're looking at past decade. Miguel Cabrera runs away with it today, 68%. He's had a decent career so far, I'll say. A couple MVP awards in there. Oh, but we've got some write-ins too. I told you I look forward to these. Freddie Freeman or Trout. I think we got a Trout earlier today. Miggy is money. That's for sure. Big Papi. It's another good one. Just retired last year, guys.
I think Trout may have had the most write-ins, but
Freddie Freeman? I mean, he's a good player, but the best hitter in the last 10 years?
Maybe a Braves fan.
Goodness.
It's hard to argue with Miguel Cabrera.
You can't go wrong with anyone on that list. And if you want to throw Mike Trout in there, like I said, he doesn't have the accumulation of numbers, but if you look at what he's done, the awards are there.
Ball into center field. Well struck. Springer all the way back. He's at the track and he'll have room to make the play right in front of the center field wall. A long out to start the 7th.
George, great situational awareness right there. You saw him as he got right before he caught the ball, put his arm out because he knew he was on the track looking for the wall. You're going to see this pitch. It's a breaking ball that Chris Nowitzki doesn't get down and away, but look at him never look back for the wall, knowing that he's getting close, feeling for the wall. Makes the play, makes it look easy.
So a 400-foot out off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. And here's Victor Martinez. Martinez is grounded out into the shift to the shortstop Carlos Correa and also lined out to George Springer. Only hit of this game was a 1-out single. The only hit of the game for the Tigers was a 1-out single in the 3rd inning by Mikey Matuk. Devo ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Brad Peacock 4 1/3 innings of 1 hit, 2 walk baseball. Levinsky has retired all 5 he has faced, plus he got caught stealing on the runner who was left on by Peacock. in the dirt, 1-2. Devenski pitched Wednesday against the Miami Marlins. He warmed up once in that Indian series, but he was not used, so he is well rested. In his second full inning of work here in the 7th. Hits Martinez with the pitch. Devenski came up and in and caught Victor Martinez.
Chris had gone with the 0-2 changeup down. Now he's going fastball elevated. You see Evan Gattis is set up on the inside part of the plate. There was no intention in that whatsoever. Devenski had Martinez dead to rights, but let him off the hook with a fastball in the tricep.
First time all year Devenski has hit a batter in now 26 plus innings of work. So 1 out, 1 on. Here's the former Astro JD Martinez. American League Player of the Week, coming in with a lofty batting average and 6 home runs and a dozen RBIs. Had a foot injury that cost him time at the beginning of the year. Devenski misses with the first pitch as we look at our forward spray chart on JD Martinez.
And you see classic right-handed swing, likes the ball elevated inside just a little bit, down, out, over the plate. But you like to see a hitter that can spray the ball all over the field, and you can see where the hits are going. They're going everywhere. He's gotten off to a great start early in this season for him.
On the ground toward short. Correa to Altuve for 1. The turn in time for the double play. 6-4-3 to get out of a hit batter situation with 1 out. And the Astros head to the bottom of the 7th, leading 1-0.
Marwin Gonzalez is at bat last night that he ends up hitting a home run. 13 pitches by Zach McAllister, and the last 5 or 6 of them are all fastballs with 3-2 count until finally Marwin gets the head out and drives a pitch right down the middle out of the ballpark. You see, there's several pitches he thought he could have handled, but did a good job of just waiting for the pitch that he could drive out of the ballpark. And there it is, fastball right down the middle. And Marwin, you throw him enough of those, eventually he's going to hit one. Leading this team in home runs, Marwin has been a big power source for A.J. Hinch and the Astros.
Certainly has. It's been fun to watch as Marwin digs in there and takes a called strike, 0-1. Again, he is still shy of the 100 at-bat plateau for the season. 98 ABs coming into this plate appearance. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a double his last time up. Astros lead at 1-0, scoring the only run of the game back in the first. Little bunt attempt by Gonzalez. No chance for anybody. Cabrera flipped it, but it was already when Gonzalez was by the bag.
With Miguel Cabrera playing back, all Marwin's got to do is get it by the pitcher. And now Fulmer being right-handed, he's got to do it a little bit harder than if it was a left-hander. But see right here, once he gets it by the pitcher, Miggy has to field the ball. There is absolutely no play. That's a perfect push bunt up the first base side for a knock to start off the bottom of the 7th. You don't have to have great speed if you can put the ball where you want to, and that's exactly what happened with Marlin right there.
Here's Yuli Gurriel. He's grounded to short a couple of times. He's around a bunt and takes a stab at it for a strike, 0-1.
Todd, by the way, 93 pitches for Michael Fulmer. We talked about how his pitch count was elevated early in this game. We are now in the bottom of the 7th, and he is still out there. He's done a really good job of pitch efficiency from about the 4th inning on.
Really thinking about a bunt, trying to snap an 0 for 13. Also trying to think about moving the runner along here in a 1-0 game. Struggling a little bit at the plate, trying to sacrifice one for the team.
Little bit of a streaky hitter, likes to hit early in the count. Thing is, the league gets a book on you, now all of a sudden knows that he likes to go ahead and let it fly. He doesn't want to see a lot of pitches, and they start making the adjustment to the hitters.
In the air towards right center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Gonzalez had to hold up momentarily. Marwin to second. Back-to-back singles to start the 7th. Marwin Gonzalez and Yuli Gurriel.
Fulmer with the mistake right here, or the fastball up and out over the plate. We'll take a look at it right here. And Yuli does a good job of not trying to pull this ball and driving the ball the opposite field to right. Ball hit a little bit too hard. J.D. Martinez gets over there, cuts it off quickly, and holds Marwin at second. Keeps him from going first to third on that single.
Michael Fulmer with a word with Nick Castellanos. Alex Bregman did not have a sacrifice bunt last year. Do you expect them to bunt here?
Well, if there's ever a situation that calls for it, this is one of them.
Bregman does have one sacrifice bunt this year. They are back on the dirt part of the infield.
Now, if he does bunt here, where Alex wants to bunt the ball is hard to Nicholas Castellanos at third, to make him charge and throw the ball to first, to throw him out at first. If you don't bunt it hard to third base, the pitcher has a chance to get over and possibly get Marwin at third, because Nicholas can actually stay at third base for the throw.
Infield single and a fly out for Bregman, and 2 at-bats against Fulmer. No bunt shown. Strike, 0-1. There's Will Harris warming up in the Astros bullpen. Chris Davinsky outstanding. Faced 7 batters and picked up 2 2/3 innings. Because he also had a guy caught stealing. Pitch away for a ball, 1-1.
With a pitch count getting very close to 100 at 96. Fulmer really hasn't lost his velocity. The last pitch, 97 miles an hour on a fastball down and away to Bregman.
Double barrel action as the pitch count rises for the Tigers. Chad Bell's the lefty. And the right-hander is Shane Green. Back 1-2. Alex Bregman has done a good job this year with runners in scoring position, hitting .382.
He's had a great approach. Even though we haven't seen a whole lot of power from Alex this year, the WBC really set him back, but he's starting to see the ball much better. When there's guys in scoring position, guys on base for Alex, he really likes to stay up the middle and to the opposite field. Not really trying to pull the ball.
In the dirt, good block by Avila. counts 2-2. Alex with 13 base hits with runners in scoring position, but only 12 runs batted in. That does include a grand slam.
What a big swing that was in New York against the Yankees on Derek Jeter Day.
6 runs in the first, including 4 off the bat of Alex Bregman, his first home run of the year. Couldn't hold up, he goes around. Big strikeout for Fulmer. That's his 3rd strikeout of the game and his first out here in the 7th inning.
Hard slider down and away, ahead in the count. You see that ball work off the corner. And Alex committing a little bit early, trying to reach and foul it off, just couldn't make contact with it. That's a big pitch in this situation for Michael Fulmer and the Tigers.
Now George Springer. Walked, flied out to right, struck out. Astros have a hit in every inning but the 6th. Fulmer has spread them out, allowing 8 hits. And now a 7th inning of work. See him at the century mark, 100 pitches in. He has gone at least 100 pitches in each of his last 4 starts, with a high total of 114 2 starts ago in Anaheim.
Todd, that was pretty close at second base. You saw Fulmer make the spin move. Ian Kinsler try and get in behind Marwin Gonzalez. He did get back in there, but just barely. See Marwin not really expecting anything at all. Almost caught him napping, but Marwin was able to slip his hand in there before the tag.
Up and away, 1-1.
Fulmer's had a lot of stressful pitches today. Like you said, the Astros have had base runners all over the place all day, all night, but haven't really been able to do too much. But what that means is he's having to reach back a little bit more, maybe add a little bit of velocity, really work hard on getting his location. It puts a little bit more stress on the arm. When I've worked with pitchers, what I've always done is when you have stressful pitches, I would look at it as almost 1.5 pitches per 1 pitch, just because of the additional stress on the pitcher to really try and crank that breaking ball to get out of trouble.
So all these pitches, especially working out of the stretch in high leverage situations, the pitch count's really higher than 102 in your mind.
On his body, yes. On his arm, yes. And it's kind of a hot button term that a lot of pitching coaches are using now is how many stressful pitches are there. It's not just about the sheer number. It's about how much stress is on the pitcher while he's making those pitches.
Well wide of the plate, 2-2. Phillies had to work back there this inning.
We talked about George Springer over the weekend taking some big off-balance swings trying to go deep. Situation like this, we talked earlier in the game, we saw him drive the ball to right. Like to see him do this, have that same approach right here. See if we can get that second run across, help out the pitchers for the Astros.
Swing and a miss. Fulmer gets back-to-back strikeouts after allowing a couple of hits to start this inning. 4 strikeouts in the game for Fulmer. And 2 this inning. Connect to Astros baseball all season with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Customize the app for the Astros and get awesome stuff all year long by subscribing to At-Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Download MLB.com at-bat today. The #1 app for live Astros baseball. Fulmer has dialed it up a little bit here. In some trouble in the 7th inning.
Has not spent much time in the middle of the plate, that's for sure. Made a good pitch right there to Springer away to get him fishing on the swing.
Reddick has back-to-back base hits against Fulmer as he starts him out. A little changeup down low for a ball, 1-0.
Fulmer knows exactly what Reddick has done to him today. And that changeup is his go-to off-speed pitch against left-handers.
Even when he was retired, Josh hit the ball pretty hard to center field. Josh, as opposed to a lot of lefties that Fulmer faces, has had success tonight. This ball is hit high in the air down the right field line. Long run Martinez. It's going to fall into the crowd. 1-1 the count to Reddick.
Josh didn't quite get that one. That got in on him just a little bit. And if you just watch the hitter, not the ball, he'll tell you if the ball's going out of the ballpark. Josh never left the plate. He knew that ball was going to foul.
Reddick with 6 home runs on the season. He has hit much better here at home than he has on the road. One of the few Astros that can claim that this year. Josh with 4 of his 6 home runs at Minute Maid Park. Up and away, 2-1. Mentioned Fulmer's high pitch count on the year is 114. He's also had 110 in a start against Minnesota. This will be his 3rd highest pitch count of the season after this pitch. Two and two.
Another changeup down below the zone. Josh does a good job in fouling the ball off. Obviously, if you take it, that's ball 3. But once he committed, did a good job of just touching it, get the ball foul.
Little flare beyond the third baseman. The shortstop Machado is there to put it away for the final out. So a couple of singles to start the inning. Are left stranded. We're through 7. It's 1-0 Houston.
All right, go get him, Will.
Nothing. Astros lead the Tigers. Time to play Name That Astro. It's presented by your local Honda dealer. We give you 3 clues, and you tweet us your best guess. All right. What do we got? Big Green, Chi Gamma, Epsilon, and Defensive Specialist. Read over them a couple times.
Big Green.
Do you guys know?
I have no idea. I am terrible at these things.
Chi Gamma Epsilon.
You've got some time. We'll announce later.
So a frat boy.
On we go to Will Harris. Harris taking over here in the 8th inning. What a job by Chris Tavinsky in back of a great start by Brad Peacock. And Harris starts out Nick Castellanos with a strike.
We'll take a look at the numbers of Will Harris, and he has been outstanding. Had one bad game a few days ago, but has done an exceptional job. American League All-Star last year. So AJ, one of AJ's main back of the bullpen arms to solidify wins.
So Davinsky takes it from 1 out in the 5th inning all the way to the 8th. And they turn it over to Will Harris. 4 1/3 innings for Brad Peacock of 1-hit baseball. Davinsky hit a batter, the only batter he allowed to reach base. That was erased on a double play, and now it's Will Harris.
Will with a low 90s cut fastball. It's a natural cut. He doesn't do it on purpose. And then a very good curveball. It's a true curveball. It's got good speed differential off of it. It's got a lot of depth to it.
Castellanos grounded out and struck out. Tried to hold up, but he goes around. Harris gets Nicholas Castellanos swinging for the first out of the 8th inning. That's now 11 strikeouts for Astros pitching. Here are your defensive changes for the Astros. Marwin Gonzalez shifts from the outfield. He had been playing left. He's now at first base. Josh Reddick moves from right field to left field. George Springer from center to right. And the new center fielder is Jake Marisnick. He will bat in Yuli Gurriel's place. Tyler Collins looks at a strike, 0-1.
The reason AJ can move George Springer to right, we talked about how good of an outfielder he is, center fielder, natural center fielder, played right last year, is because Jake Marisnick, in my opinion, is one of the best center fielders in the game. He gets great jumps. He's got a good arm. He takes great routes. And more than anything else, I love the aggression that these outfielders have. They want the ball hit to them. They want to go get it and catch it.
Outfield defense has been very good this year. Across the board, when the Astros have struggled defensively, it's usually come on the infield. But Marisnick gets unbelievable jumps to center.
He does. He is so good at reading the ball. Now, center field is the easiest place to read the ball off the bat, but he still gets great jumps. He's got great closing speed. But the defense all over. We talk about the outfield defense quite a bit. The infield defense is outstanding for this team also. What is always synonymous with pitching? Good pitching? It's good defense. You can't have good pitching if you have poor defense.
2-2 the count on Tyler Collins. 1 out, nobody on. And a swing and a miss. Will Harris getting the first 2 on strikeouts. Castellanos and now Collins.
It's already time, baseball fans. The 2017 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is here. Head to astros.com/vote to choose your ASG-worthy stars and send them to the All-Star Game, presented by MasterCard on July 11th in Miami.
Here's Mikey Matuk taking a pitch away for a ball, 1-0. It's the battle of LSU Tigers here with Will Harris facing Mikey Matuk. Alex Bregman at third base. An interested Tiger observer as well. 2-0 the count. Matuk has the only hit of the game for the Tigers. It came back in the 3rd inning. A 1-out single against Brad Peacock. Detroit's had just 1 runner reach second base. In the air towards right center. Marisnick, we talked about his great jumps. He got another good one there, and he puts it away.
Ball was barely off the bat, and Jake was on the run.
Very nice play in center by Jake. On Root Sports is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. George Springer with a great catch defensively and on the move, came around to score the game's only run thus far. That came back in the first inning on an RBI double by Jose Altuve. That was it for the Astros against Michael Fulmer, who went 7 innings and ended up only allowing 1 run. He now has 9 consecutive quality starts. See Springer in the dugout as the Astros will bat here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and the new pitcher they will face is the right-hander, Shane Green.
Shane Green, the 6'4" right-hander, 28 years old. You see the numbers, has thrown the ball pretty well out of the bullpen in 20 games. His last 5 games, he's thrown 6 innings to a 1.5 ERA. So he's not just throwing the ball well overall, he's thrown the ball well as of late.
Green will face Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, Carlos Beltran, 3, 4, 5 in the Astros lineup, looking to tack on a run or 2 to head to the 9th. This has been a pitcher-dominated start to the 4-game series, and the first pitch is a called strike, 0-1. Altuve has the game's only RBI with that double in the first inning.
Michael Fulmer, if you look back at it and been watching the game, it wasn't pretty, but then you look up at the end, he's gone 7 innings, given up just 1 run on 8 hits. And did a good job of getting off to a rocky start, but really righting the ship and end up pitching pretty well tonight.
Ken Giles warming up in the Astros bullpen. Astros did not have the lead late in any games against Cleveland, so Giles does not have a save opportunity in a while. He did pitch in yesterday's game. Houston Methodist League leaders. Starters ERA and the bullpen ERA have both been an issue.
They have. Now, Michael Fulmer's really their starter that has done really well, but their bullpen has been a question mark this season. Also, it seems like the bullpen for the Tigers has been a question mark for about the last 6 or 7 years.
Innings 6 through 9 have been problematic for the Tigers this year. There's a good breaking ball for a called 3rd strike, getting Altuve looking for the first out in the bottom of the 8th. But when you look at the Tigers versus the Astros head-to-head over the last few seasons since 2014, the Astros have won 2/3 of the game at home, but it's been a pitcher-dominated series at Minute Maid Park.
Very low ERA, 2.65 at home. That's a pretty good ERA, but you see there have been some woes there at Comerica on the road. This Astros team last couple years has played better on the road, especially this year, but in the past that's been a real problem for this team, is playing quality baseball in their opponent's ballparks.
This year it seems like offensively the numbers are really skewed in favor of the road.
The reason is because I feel like there's a different approach by this lineup overall on the road, and it's more of a inside out, hit the ball the other way, stay up the middle approach, whereas you get here at home, you tend to see a lot more big swings, guys trying to get the ball out of the ballpark.
Crawford box is close.
Not sure exactly what the issue may be, but it's something that I know that A.J. Hinch would love to see, that approach that they have on the road be incorporated here at home at Minute Maid.
1-1 the count to Correa with 1 out and nobody on, and Green ahead of the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. At home this year, the Astros are playing their 24th game at home. They've scored 100 runs. On the road in 3 fewer games, they scored 121 runs. There's a big discrepancy in the first 45 games of the year. Carlos looking for his first hit tonight. He's battling an 0 for 10 right now, and now it's 0 for 11. As Green has come in and struck out Correa and Altuve back-to-back.
Both looking on very good pitches. Jose Altuve was a breaking ball. This was a fastball on the outside corner. Pitch had a little bit of comeback to it as a 2-seam fastball. You see Alex Avila behind the plate do a great job of framing that pitch, but that's just one of those situations that the pitcher makes a great pitch and you just have to take your beating and walk back to the clubhouse.
Now Carlos Beltran, he pops one foul. This will head out of play. Like Correa, Beltran looking for his first hit tonight, 0 for 3.
Carlos, we saw his last at bat, a really weak swing, ends up grounding out to the shortstop. That was off Michael Fulmer, and the reason he did that was because Fulmer had spent so much time pounding him inside. Correa was starting to leak to get to that inside pitch. Then he throws him away and gets the weak contact to short.
Pitch misses in for a ball, 1-1. Astros 1 run on 8 hits tonight. The Tigers no runs on 1 hit. Houston trying to snap a 3-game losing streak, matching their longest of the season. Also lost 3 games in the first homestand. There's a ball hammered to right center field. Looking up is Collins. This ball is off the wall. Stays on the wall for a while. Beltran into second base with a double.
There was your mislocation by Shane Green. It's going to be a fastball, supposed to be a fastball inside, and you're going to watch Avila reach back out over the plate. Watch what Avila does with his glove. He's supposed to be inside, throws the ball middle away, and that is Carlos Beltran's nitro zone. You see a good compact swing. Drives this ball, almost drives it into the bullpen. But look at it rattle on the wall. Got a little pinball action out there. Carlos gonna just cruise into second for a double.
Carlos Beltran, another career double. He has 546 in his career. Now 1 shy of Manny Ramirez for the top 30 all time in Major League history.
He's had an unbelievable career, really has. And some of those numbers right here in Houston, especially those postseason numbers and that big postseason he had, driving the ball out of the ballpark pretty much on a consistent basis.
Here's Evan Gattis with a 1-0 count. Evan 1 for 3, singled his first time up. In that 2004 postseason you talk about with Beltran, he set a major league record for runs scored in a postseason. No one's come close to this. 21 runs, and he did it in 56 plate appearances. He scored basically a run 40% of his plate appearances.
I remember watching that, and it seemed like every time he offered at the pitch, the ball was hit dead right on the screws. I mean, as a pitcher, you got nightmares about situations like that. I throw a breaking ball, he kills it. Fastball, he kills it.
2-0 the count to Gattis, looking to give the Astros a tack-on run here. Foul back to the screen, 2-1.
That ended up getting him a big contract that offseason because he was a free agent at the end of the season, I believe with the Mets.
Played with the Mets from 05 through 2011 and was acquired by the Giants from the Mets in a trade at the deadline of 2011. 2-2 the count.
Put up some big numbers there with the Mets at Shea Stadium. Not an easy place to hit. But Carlos is just one of those extraordinary talents that has the ability to put the bat on the ball. I mean, last year, 29 home runs with the Yankees for a guy that just a couple of years ago, some people felt like he was on the way out because of knees. He had some bad knees.
In the dirt, 3-2 to Evan Gattis.
Doesn't look like Shane Green really wants to mess that much with Evan Gattis. And with first base open with Beltran on second, he very well may get another breaking ball in this situation.
Marwin Gonzalez has a couple of hits in tonight's game. He's on deck. Is into and out of the Tigers dugout.
After throwing several breaking balls away, Shane Green ends up going fastball in. Now he's got some velocity, mid-90s, but Evan really pulled his hands in, jerked that ball foul over the third base dugout, the Tigers dugout here to our left.
Ball 4. Gaddis looks at a pitch below the knees. He draws a 2-out walk, and now the Astros have first and second with 2 outs and their RBI leader coming to the plate. Nobody warming up in the Tigers bullpen. This is just the manager, Brad Ausmus, having a word with Shane Green.
The key to this visit right here is first to let him know, to reiterate exactly how good Marwin has been. But Brad Ausmus jogged to the mound. Managers don't usually run to the mound when they're going to take somebody out. This is an information visit here, and Brad's just out there making sure he knows exactly what he wants to do to Marwin. But a little nuance there. Usually managers walk with their head down when they're coming to take somebody out.
Astros have an extra arm warming up, Michael Phillies, if it goes beyond the same situation.
Marwin can catch one out front and drive this ball out of the ballpark. It looks like Michael Phillies might get the top of the 9th inning.
Taken down low for a ball, 1-0. Green struck out the first 2 batters he faced, Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa. A 2-out double by Carlos Beltran, and now a walk to Evan Gaddis. Marwin leads the team with 10 home runs, leads the team with 26 runs batted in. And he takes another one down low, 2-0.
First 2 pitches breaking balls to Marwin Gonzalez, so the respect, we know the respect is there. But what has that done? That's put him in a very precarious situation. We're talking about Sean Green facing Marwin Gonzalez. 2-0 with 2 runners on.
7 of Marwin's 10 home runs have come as a left-hand hitter. Coming in, hitting .294 lefty, .250 righty.
Todd, you may remember earlier this year, he actually won chicken sandwiches for 35,000 people by hitting the right field foul pole from Chick-fil-A.
There's a strike. Tough pitch on 2-0.
Looked like a cutter. He throws both a slider and a cutter. That looked like the cutter was a little bit harder, a little bit more control, but did a good job of getting it to the inside part of the plate. Marwin decided not to go to offer it that one. That probably would have gotten his kitchen if he did.
Two and two.
There was another breaking ball. He only missed by about 3 feet. This pitch is supposed to be away. You see Avila sitting up away. He throws it down and in, and Marwin swings right over the top. Hey, sometimes the catcher is just a mere suggestion.
Sometimes missing with your spot works out, as it did there. 2-2.
Well, I think we know what Brad Ausmus went out there and told Shane Green. And that's, let's not throw Marwin any fastballs. All he's gotten is a steady diet of off-speed pitches to get the pitch to get the count to 2-2.
He Took care of a fastball yesterday on pitch number 13 of his final at bat.
And 11 of those pitches were fastballs. 2 breaking balls early in the count, then all fastballs after that.
Inside, ball 3, and now with 2 outs, a head start for both Beltran and Evan Gattis.
Todd, if I was a betting man, I'm calling a breaking ball right here. That was a show-me fastball. If you could get him to swing at the pitch inside, that's fine. But he's already showed what he wants to do here. He wants to get Marwin to offer it a breaking ball. And there is still a base open. It just happens to be in front of the hitters at third base.
Breaking ball called, third strike. He gets Gonzalez looking. Marwin frustrated as the 8th ends with a 1-0 Houston lead. Astros struck first in the bottom of the first with Jose Altuve doubling down the line to score George Springer. That would be the only run scored to this point of the game. Brad Peacock outstanding for 4 1/3 innings.
Chris Davinsky comes in and does his thing, gets a little defensive help from George Springer with a great diving grab on a sinking line drive to center field. You see the appreciation Chris gives to George right there, and that gets us to where we are right here. 1-0, top of the 9th. Ken Giles in for the save.
4th pitcher on for the Astros. Ken Giles pitched in yesterday's game, and he's on here in a save situation.
See, has done a good job as far as save situations are concerned. 11 for 12. ERA's a little bit elevated. Has thrown the ball pretty well of late, but has kind of been pitching backwards. He uses his slider to set up his fastball. He actually lately has had better command of his slider than he has his fastball.
Justin Upton will pinch hit to start the inning. Upton will pinch hit for Dixon Machado. Justin normally starts in left field, given a breather after the late arrival by the Tigers, who played in a Sunday night baseball game in Detroit. Got to their hotel in downtown Houston around 4:30 in the morning. 1-1 the count. Only 2 pitchers have more saves in the American League than Ken Giles. Cody Allen, who the Astros saw in the weekend series against Cleveland, has 12, and Craig Kimbrell for Boston also has 12.
Both of those guys have thrown the ball remarkably well, especially Kimbrell.
1-2 the count.
Ken Giles is making a liar of me. I say he's throwing sliders. He's just thrown 3 fastballs to get the count to 1-2. Looks like he's got good life on there, good velocity, 98 miles an hour on that last one.
Giles had a 1-2-3 inning yesterday, getting Carlos Santana, Edwin Encarnacion both striking out, and then Lonnie Chisenhall on a ground out to end the inning. And he gets Justin Upton, who's now 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in his career against Giles. First out in the 9th inning. Julia?
Hey, it's time to name that Astro, presented by your local Honda dealer. We gave you clues. We had some correct guesses. There was a lot of wrong answers, including one from Jeff Blum, who tweeted or texted in, I should say, Chi Gamma Epsilon. That's baseball frat. Dartmouth.
We should have guessed that one. We just saw him just a minute ago go out on the mound.
Big Green, Dartmouth, there you go. Blummer got one wrong?
He did.
I think that's the first one all year.
We're throwing him under the bus because he's not here.
Ian Kinsler, the batter, 1 out, bases cleared. He holds off on the slider, 1-0.
I guess the Google machine let him down.
He is good at this game.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he does it so fast. There's no time to Google. He's good at it.
Oh, Gary was putting his faith in that Blummer was at home participating as a fan and able to get the right answer. On the ground, broken bat, Correa waits for it. 2 outs.
Great slider right there by Giles, down and away. Gets Kinsler to reach for the ball. You heard the loud crack of the bat as he broke it. Just nice little easy ground ball to Correa at short.
22,146 on a Monday night at Minute Maid Park. Many rising to their feet. The Astros leading 1-0, 2 outs in the 9th. Alex Avila, the hitter for the Tigers. Goes around, 0-1.
There's that devastating slider, even down below the zone. When you throw as hard as Ken Giles does, as a hitter, you have to commit so early that when he gets that slider down in the zone, it is so hard to lay off him.
Avila has never faced Giles before today. Upstairs with fastball, 1-1. Astros put 3 on the right side of the infield. Altuve deep at second base. On the ground, foul, and now Ken Giles and the Astros 1 strike away.
Giles really has Alex at his disposal here. He can do whatever he wants. He can go fastball elevated. He can go breaking ball down. Let's just see if Ken Giles can execute the pitch.
Just missed, 2-2.
That's a great quality pitch right there from Ken Giles. He goes with the slider. It's middle away just below the zone. Avila takes this pitch and just hopes it's not a strike because it is right there at the bottom of the zone.
He got him! Astros win 1-0 on a 4-pitcher combined 1-hitter. Brad Peacock, Chris Davinsky, Will Harris, and Ken Giles combine on a 1-hit, 1-0 shutout as the Astros snap a 3-game losing streak.
The player of the game is brought to you by Academy, and that is Brad Peacock. On a spot start situation, he comes out and does an outstanding job of getting the Astros into the middle of the game. Throws 4 1/3 shutout innings, just giving up 1 hit, striking out 8. Don't think AJ could ask for anything more out of Brad Peacock, and he's our Academy player of the game.
Astros' last 1-0 shutout victory was back here against the Tigers last April 15th. A 1-hit, 4-pitcher combined shutout. Houston wins 1-0. Plenty more to come, including the post-game show.